All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is PR2, Characteristics of Quantitative Research, Asynchronous Distance Education, King's College of the Philippines, the Basic Education Department. Yours truly, I am your teacher, Sir Joseph Lucio Vance Capite, and your other teachers, Ma'am Myra G. Bentadan, Ma'am Brenda D. Pago, and Ma'am Marisa B. Oito. All right. For the purposes of informations and clarifications, just to pinpoint where are we right now. For the previous weeks, we've been conducting orientation for the following week for 4 days. This is where we're able to call your attentions and do some validations of your informations. And this time, just to tell you where are we now, we are currently here for lesson 1, September 1. The time frame actually is 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. However, due to some circumstances, we're unable to live stream or to stream our videos or materials via YouTube channels. And so definitely our topic would dwell on describe the characteristics of quantitative research muna, and later on we will be doing the strengths and we will be discussing the strengths and weaknesses of the research. So for tomorrow, it will be followed by series of activities and lecture videos to stand by for further clarifications and announcements about this matter. So before we begin, may I request you please to go get your module for PR2, try to open them. You may pause this video for a moment so that you can go get yourself and set yourself. Again, I am requesting or I'm asking you to please go get your PR2 modules so that you can follow the flow and sequence of the discussions that we are currently conducting, okay? Now let's begin. Before we really begin, we would like to introduce to you the concept of schema. Schema, by definition, is the so-called background knowledge, background understanding, background idea, or probably information which you already encountered already. So schema, I'm pointing this out because with the assumption now that you had your PR1. PR1 is also a practical research one by which probably you already had an information, so you're able to collect, understand, comprehend, grasp, and probably you're able to hear from your teachers the concepts of research. So therefore, we are confident that at least the research, practical research too, is not strange to your ears, is not strange to you already because you've been encountering the concepts, the ideas, and informations about this matter. And I hope that you will not find it very, very scareful that the PR2 is very, very difficult. Please, no worries. We will be assisting you with that. And that being said, we would like to stimulate or we would like to trigger your schema, and definitely is to trigger you and to give you it's just simply to trigger you. Now, the direction of this research actually is to deepen and widen the scope of your knowledge and information that is existing already in your brain. So you already have information about this one, and PR2 is will just simply deepen that, strengthen that, and to widen the scope of your knowledge and informations, to add more informations and to add more and to contribute more to how much you know. And definitely that is where schema comes in, your background knowledge, and we are just simply adding to it already. We're simply adding informations about it, okay? So let's definitely go directly to the lesson proper that we're going to do. So for research one, for definition one, research is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing informations or data in order to increase our understanding of the phenomena with which we are concerned or interested. That is according to Lilly 1997. Now, if I may uh, emphasize the word systematic process. Systematic process is a step-by-step, is a very sequential, a very comprehensive process of a knowledge. We do not just simply assume, we do not simply think of it, we do not just simply um, do things like that without any proper scientific methods that we are conducting. I'd like only to point out that research is very systematic, very organized in its nature because it has the desire to collect and analyze informations or data, because it has the intention to increase our understanding of the phenomena. It tries to contribute to the community of knowledge already. When we say community of knowledge, it's an existing knowledge that has been there already since then. And the only thing that we are doing is we are trying to add and contribute to it. We're trying to expand to it, and we're trying to challenge and revise all of these concepts. Now, that is according to Lidley of 1997. Further, as we move forward, we have the definition number 2. Refer to research, this one. Refer to research as an organized investigation into a subject in order to discover facts, establish or revise theories, and develop a plan of action based on facts discovered. Discovering facts involves the realization of evidences in order to establish the veracity, the genuineness, and the truthfulness of that is which is being explored. That is according to the verse of 2009. If I may deepen this one, I'd like only to emphasize the word organized investigation. Look at the word organized. Look at the word systematic. Systematic, organized. Organized, systematic. They share the same direction when it comes to the definition of a research. Organized investigation. So, ibig sabihin pala ng organized, ito ay masinsinan. It's a comprehensive. Hindi lang siya pinag-iisipan. Hindi lang siya nag-jump from this one to this one to this one. It's a very, very comprehensive, synchronized means of understanding a particular event or experience via research. Now, it has the intention to discover facts. When you say facts, ibig sabihin truths, informations, datas, mga katotohanan at mga bagay na merong kinalaman sa scientificong pag-aaral tungkol sa research. And when we are able to collect facts, we are now able to establish or revise theory. Now, establish a theory. A theory, by definition, is an assumption, a hypothesis, or ibig sabihin katang-isip na paaring may katotohanan. Now, theories are possibilities. Again, theories are possibilities, assumptions, and a hypothesis. So, what do we mean by revise a theory? Let's try to let's put into example the evolution of man by Charles Darwin on how man evolved. That is a theory that we come from the monkeys by the animals, and based on the evidences, the bones, this would be they're trying to point out that we come from those mammals. Now that is a theory by an individual person because he conducted a systematic and an organized investigation of that. Upon the following of all of those, he now made his theory. However, theories can be revised, meaning to say they can be challenged by other theories too. So, for example, the genetic theory on how men were evolved, or probably all other theories that are existing right now. There are many theories that will challenge the truthfulness on how we evolve as human beings. Now, doon tayo nakaka-establish, we can revise theories via research. So, a research has a capacity, meron siyang kakayahang mag-revise at gumawa ng mga theories. And then after that's just a theory, develop now a plan of action based on facts discovered. Now, paano naman to? And develop a plan of action based on facts discovered. Example, ikayo ay nag-research tungkol sa mga problema ng mga estudyante sa kanilang buhay bilang isang senior high school students. You try to discover the lived experiences of senior high school students. Now, let's take, for example, that's a very basic research. Lived experiences of senior high. What's their current experiences right now? You can actually try to study their experiences, and you get to know that there are many problems concerning family, financial, monetary, economical, or probably bullying, or probably self, or probably psychological, or many other problems, or probably people, communications, cyberbullying, individuality, many other experiences or problems will arise as you go and learn the lived experience of senior high school. Upon the realization of these facts, nung nalaman nyo yung mga itong mga bagay-bagay, you can actually establish now a plan to address them. And that is when you start to do a campaign about anti-bullying. You started to open religious activities and spiritual matters that will open the youth to involve themselves in the Christianity, or probably organize various clubs about Humes, clubs on STEM, club for TVL, EIM, ICTs. So we give them the opportunity where they can exercise with full freedom their self, their being, of which there is on one way for them to express themselves, even music, if I may add. Okay, so that is when we are able to develop and plan action, because we're able to get an information, a data, and that is a time that we try to develop now an action plan or a solution on those circumstances and problems. Now, as we try to discover them, as we try to go and research them, this is now, may I have your attention here, discovering facts involves the realization of evidences in order to establish the veracity, truthfulness, and the genuinity of that which is being explored. See, we realize a lot of things as we go through the research. So research definitely is we learn a lot of things because it involves informations that are coming in and coming out. So that is the definition of the version of 2009. Now, as we accelerate further, we have the definition number 3. Quantitative research is a type of research that endeavors to explain a phenomena by collecting numerical data that are analyzed using mathematically based methods. That is according to Creswell of 1994. Oops, apologize on that error. Now, I'd like to have your attention or get your attention on the word numerical data. What do we say by numerical data? Now, for definition number 4, numerical data includes age, salary, performance rating, satisfaction scores, IQ scores, test results, etc., and your thinking capacity, and are collected using surveys, questionnaires, and other documentations. Now, that is according to RAGMA of 2019. Now, let's go back to Creswell. Sabi niya, numerical data. Numerical data, ibig sabihin na bibilang, countable. We can calculate them, we can compute them using mathematically based methods. So, paano natin bibilangin yan? For example, may have your attention to the word satisfaction scores. Gusto nyong malaman kung satisfied ba ang mga estudyante sa isang canteen. So sa canteen na to, gusto nyong malaman kung maganda ba ang services, maganda ba ang prices, maganda kaya ang pakikitungo ng mga in terms of health and standards and everything. You try to research that. For example, these are students going there. You try to research the satisfaction by numbering. For example, very satisfied, number 4. Satisfied, probably number 3. Not really satisfied, probably number 2, and definitely never satisfied is number 1. So try to put that as a questionnaire and float that to your students or to the students, and try to look into it if they're satisfied. And then you try to float this one to probably 100 people respondents and collect them back again and try to count how did they responded on those survey questionnaires. And that is when you're able to mathematically compute them by counting them, by doing mathematics and all other computation methods, and you get to realize the data. And lumabas doon na sakto lang naman ng kanilang, they're just simply satisfied on the services of the canteen. So that's how we do it, okay? And that is when we say numerical data that are computed mathematically, okay? So this would simply, this will be my definitions on this particular matter. Now, shall we all move forward? Further, I'd like as well to have your attention here. You've been encountering quali and quantitative research back then. When we say quantitative research, from the word quanti, I underline the word quanti. Let's come here. Let's go here. Quanti, how much, or usually numbers. When we say numbers, we're counting 1, 2, 3, quantity. Let's go back on the other side. Qualitative research. Quality, from the word quality, is the genuineness, how good it is. I will add that, how good it is. Gaano kaganda. So I am pointing out two concepts here. There are two types of research. Quantitative research and qualitative research. There are two directions here. For quantitative, it refers to numbers, quantity. For quali, it refers to the genuineness of a particular object. Now, as we accelerate further, for quantitative, we are using the definition of Creswell is a type of research that endeavors to explain a phenomena by collecting numerical data, numbers ang pinag-uusapan, that are analyzed using mathematically based methods, particularly statistics. So it involves now the statistics. That's the reason why PR2 is the prerequisite is statistics and probability. That is according to Creswell of 1994. On the other hand, for qualitative, textual in nature. Ibig sabihin ng textual in nature, it involves words and letters and anything that is textual and anything that is written. Because in qualitative, we discover and gain an in-depth understanding of an individual experiences, thoughts, opinions, and trends, and to dig deeper into the problem at hand. So for example, we give you an example of a basic example, the lived experiences of a single mother. A single mother is a person who doesn't have a husband, but is just a child and her only. Now, how are we going to understand that? Sabi natin, in-depth understanding. You try to do an interview, a group discussion. Group discussion, ibig sabihin, interview muna, let's go back here. Interview is a one-on-one interview, or a group discussion, meaning say, you try to invite 5 single mothers in a room and try focus groups and try to spill out questions, give them questions, and all of them will answer that together. And that is when that is when they share their experiences, their struggles, their problems, their encounters, or probably all the things that you've been gone through already. And that is the time they shared. And that is when you research, you get to realize their lived experiences because they are sharing their experiences directly from them. And by definition, according to phenomenology, 5 respondents is okay already to give you data. And that is when qualitative comes in. You try now to construct your research in a textual manner because you're doing an interview, you're doing an in-depth understanding of an individual experiences, of human experiences, behaviors, characteristics and features, their thoughts, opinions, and trends to dig deeper into a problem at hand. Now, For quantitative, we have numerical data defined as age, salary, performance rating, satisfaction scores, IQ scores, test results, and etc. Through a survey questionnaire, you can gain information from them. Kaya meron kayong mga survey na ginagawa rin. May mga questionnaires rin tayong finufloat sa mga respondents natin. Now further, surveys. Say, for example, you want to learn about the satisfaction rate of the Filipinos towards the president. And you get to get that by spilling out this information to the citizens, and citizens will respond by saying satisfied, not very satisfied, not really, really satisfied, and never satisfied. And that is when people respond their answers. And that is when you get to know what about it. And based on the 2018 statistics, 78% says they're okay with president. However, that is 20, that's like 2 years ago. Today is 2020 already. Okay? So simple as that. That is quantitative and qualitative research. It's just to give emphasis on their differences because these two concepts are different by nature. There are as well different informations. There are different definitions from different authors that are very critical, but we are just going on the surface, or we're just going into what is available resources just to simply instill to you that they are separate in nature, and they have different directions, and they have different means and ways on how they get informations. Okay, so I hope that is very clear to you now. So these two things are usually done by experts, or being used by experts as their design or as their direction in the research. Okay, now for the purposes of information, if I may have your attention, to all our dear students, kindly please send us your soft copy of your previous practical research, one research proposal. I believe this is for a group, and I believe that you've been conducting this already. We would like to collect this because this would help us decide in our decision in the near future. We want to see, we want to really check them out. We just want to browse them, but we will not really critically, exaggerate ourselves and try to look in every particular details, but it's simply to pre-assess what is the available resource you have right now, because we will be utilizing that as a springboard or additional information for you and for us, so we can know how to adjust ourselves, and we know how we're going to address you and how we're going to use these materials for further undertakings of this subject. Okay, so again, we are requesting you kindly please send us a soft copy of your previous PR1. Send them to your teachers in charge. Again, there are 4 teachers here. If the person in charge is Sir Julson, just send to me. If your teacher is Ma'am Myra, if your teacher is Ma'am Brenda, if your teacher is Ma'am Oito, please send them to that particular teacher so that they would have an assessment on how they're going to do with those researches. Okay, so please bear that in mind. Okay, thank you. And that would be the end of the first lecture. Stand by for the second lecture video concerning the strengths and weaknesses of quantitative research. Now, this video will be inserted in your flash drives that you submitted to your teachers. This is the reason why. Now, if that's within your flash drives, at least you can watch them at your most convenient time without the interruptions. Probably will be uploading this in the Facebook, but there are interruptions. But if you have the full copy of this one, you can seamlessly just watch them at your own pace without any interruptions. You can collect them together and you can insert them in you, and you can rewatch, revisit them over and over again for further clarifications. And lastly, if I may have your attention here, if you have any questions, if you have any clarifications or anything that you would like to ask about, please feel free to ask your teacher. I believe that there's no need for you to post or probably scatter trash in the cyberspace like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, expressing your dismay, sentiments, or opinions about the way how you learn. We are in a state of emergency, and definitely we are experiencing many challenges here. Now, tell us what is your concern. Tell us what is your questions. Tell us what is your queries about, because how can we know if you do not tell us and you're just sharing that in the public cyberspace? How can we address that without our awareness? So you call our attention, you call us, try to ask questions and clarifications so that we can further assist you. We can provide you the educational support that you actually need. So again, we are appealing on your behalf. If you have any questions or clarifications, please feel free to ask your teachers, because we will definitely be accommodating you. And just be very careful if you who you are chatting with. Okay. Be very courteous as well, and be very polite whenever you ask, because a teacher handles over 183 students in a day, We have 5 sections each, okay? So I hope that you get that point. And I really appreciate your cooperation and collaboration. Thank you very much to all our dear students. Continue be a part of this education endeavor. We will go together. We will finish this as we try to collaborate, as we try to be unified, as we try to be very, very particular on this one. Please be very open to us. We will provide you any of this assistance that you need. Okay, so I hope that I made myself clear. We made ourselves clear. We will work together in order to successfully finish this module. So thank you very much and appreciate you all. I am ending now the video. So the time check actually is almost 7:15. So